And Julia Hart versus Willow. Brian, let me bring this thought that I had in my head up to you.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, not that one. Julia Hart, she looks like a star. She's got a great look, right? And she's very young. She has a bright future ahead of her. They're already trying to make her a goddamn girl wrestler instead of an attraction. She not only wrestled on Wednesday, she's wrestling on the pay. They're going to push her as a wrestler. If they were smart, with somebody that looks, with the state of their women's division anyway, who gives a French fried titty fuck? How apropos. Why make her just one of the girl wrestlers when she could be in a main event spot as whatever you want to call the job of manager or valet, as it used to be years ago? Whether an advocate or a cult leader or a fucking whatever, she's the girl with the guy. And that would be a main event. Can you imagine a top heel with a good look and that girl with that look? And then you've got a fucking package, whether it's the House of Black or, or somebody good. She's a star. You should put heat on her. She should be speaking. She should be directing people what to do. And she should never wrestle unless you got to pay for it. Special match on pay-per-view, feature match on a big event. A strong babyface girl comes into even the odds, or a mixed tag team match, whatever the case. She would be special. But now they're just going to push her as another one of the fucking girl wrestlers. That's what I'm saying.
I think she is special right now. I think she's the most over woman in the division, just based off the last few weeks.
Now they're fucking sending her out there to wrestle, and they're going to fucking screw that up.
By the way, she may have the best moonsault I've seen since Muda. Did you see that moonsault? How high up she got? I mean, she's a smaller girl. Incredible.
Great hang time. You know what? Instead of fucking wrestling the other girls and the Willows of the world and hitting that moonsault, she ought to goddamn be up there and hitting that moonsault on fucking MJF when her goddamn man has laid him out and she is fucking rubbing salt in the wounds. And on pay-per-view, then if MJF beats her guy, that he gets to moonsault her or something.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, whatever.
No, you know what? Look, if they're going to have a women's division, she's been one of the better ones and she's been improving. Push her. Get rid of some of the other people who have names, but they don't mean as much to the AEW fan. Julia Hart, the AEW fans are getting behind her. Part of the reason is she's theirs. And she's actually been good. There's a lot of people who have been pushed who haven't been very good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who have been signed who aren't very good. And again, if they're going to do a women's division, I see some hope with Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue, more than Chris Statlander.
Well, I'm sure that they can have some good girls matches. I was just, as a former promoter and booker, trying to make some fucking money.
But who are you going to put her with?
Well,
because for it to be worth it, it has to be a sustainable heel, right? You don't want it to be Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Right.
Because that's something where you see something that could be, you would think, a better used act, I guess. We could say not even a main event one. Better used, but we see how they're using that taints them going forward.
Then in that case, we ought to get the roster out when we have more time and go up and down and see if there's any candidates that could be a top single heel in that fucking company that needs a little greenery or a little parsley on the package. And here's the thing. I'm sure she's having a fun time wrestling, because that's the problem. If you went to not only Julia Hart, but probably any of these girls or guys and said, look, we want to put you together with a top heel and we're going to push you in the world title fucking picture and blah, blah, blah. Or we'll let you wrestle in the middle of the card with all of the opponents that you have fun wrestling with. Which one do you think that everybody would pick now versus 40 years ago? 40 years ago, everybody said, put me in a fucking main event. Now they say, oh, let me just wrestle.
With Malachi out with an injury and Buddy Matthews,
is he hurt? I did not even know that.
I heard that he's hurt and Buddy's in Australia with Rhea right now. So that's why she's been coming out with Brody King. Maybe that's why she's been working matches more the last few weeks as opposed to coming out with the House of Black. They haven't been around. What do you think of the visual of her with Brody King?
Well, you just buried the lead. Buddy needs something. Brody,
is it tough to do though?
He's all right.
Is it tough with Buddy that this specific
he's already
example,
been there though? It wouldn't go anywhere because he's been there.
Well, plus everyone knows he's with Rhea. So if you put a girl manager or valet or whatever it is, as opposed to all the other girl managers and valets, if you put a girl manager,
or if several people and a woman,
that's right.
I didn't say they had to be fucking. Although, you know what? Can you imagine what kind of a stir it would make if they came out and admitted that they were fucking around? And what's she going to do about it? I dare her to come down here. But nevertheless, I'm saying, point is, Buddy.
She's fucking Dominic. Look what I got.
Well, there you go. But Buddy's a talent, but he has the worst name ever, and he's stuck in this group, and he's been there. So you can't really just change his name and put him with somebody else, and it's not going to mean anything. Unfortunately, they blew that by not figuring out that they could probably do something with that fucking guy if he didn't have the name of a fucking pet dog and, was stuck as the middle guy in the group of tattooed guys. Anyway.
Did you actually watch the match, though?
No.
It was good.
Good.